feel like this week I am going to be on time, which is good. So I'm going to get everything set up and go into a little discussion on why I picked self-love as the topic this week. Because I know usually my topics are on dating, but I'll try to change it up a little bit. I kind of feel like, there's only so much you can discuss and talk about with dating. So I think at some point, switching up is good. It's good for the soul. So this in particular, I kind of been wanting to do this, especially after my whole sabbatical from social media and things of that sort. I feel like I think anybody should have 7 to 30 days of self-love. Now, this is more than just it's more than just a spa, getting your nails done, getting your toes done, getting your hair done, doing things to make you feel good and, make changes within yourself. That's just a tip of the iceberg, which I feel like doing those kind of things is important. We shower, we do certain things. Hey, Heather, thanks for joining. We shower, we do certain things, but I feel like there's certain things that, if you're a girly girl, like with me, self-love with me is getting a nice pedicure where I'm not doing the pedicure, somebody else is doing it. Massages, things of that sort. I feel like that is something that puts a good feeling within your spirit. So I feel like that's something that's really important. Mental health, especially. Not everyone has that belief that mental health works for them. I'm personally a firm believer because there's nothing better than having your mental health in check. A lot of times when you have it in check, more so than other people would, you have a moment of realization where you need to take a moment and take a step back and have some self-love moments. So I feel like making sure that if there are some aspects or some trauma that you've dealt with, making sure to have a fantastic therapist on deck. There's a site, which I'll link later on to this podcast. If you are an African American woman or a woman of color, there are several options for you as far as like therapy. If you're wanting to make sure that your therapist is, maybe somebody that looks like you. Nothing wrong with that. There's a site. I'll put the link to the site shortly. Actually, you know what? Let me get that set up so I can get that have that available for you guys now. But there's a podcast that I ran into maybe about a month ago. So I made this decision instead of. I love music. I love trap music when I'm working out. But lately I've been kind of listening to podcasts about money, about self-development. And one that I came across was Therapy for Black Girls. And so I just fell in love with the entire podcast. And apparently they have like a whole dictionary, whole directory for Black women. And there are therapists. It's pretty cool. So they actually have a website. So I'm gonna put a link for the actual site so you can go to their directory and find a therapist in your state, in your area that is of color, and maybe set that up if that's something that you haven't done yet. Heather says having an evening face care regimen is self-love. Going to bed early, all of those little things. Absolutely. I've been trying to take the time to make sure that I'm actually getting 8 hours of sleep. I mean, I'm not getting 8, so that's one thing for sure. I'm definitely not getting 8, but I mean 6 or 7, those are victories for me. And I feel like, getting in those 7 to 6 hours, that's a huge step for me. And I think that's great. And to be honest with you, I always feel better. Like getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep, honestly, at my age, it's like nothing to brag about. That's not anything to brag about, draining yourself or putting yourself to a little bit of a mental hell just for the sake of saying, I'm grinding hard, I'm hustling hard. That's good. There's nothing wrong with, being a hustler and grinding and making your money. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But what about your self-help? what about your mental health? Like, how do you feel inside your head? I mean, you're not getting any sleep. So you're not really running, with all your fumes. You're running on dust practically at times. And I just like, that's not taking a piece of, that's not actually self-loving. So that's the opposite. Because at some point you're going to burn out. You're going to get tired. You will be your best self. So it's always in your best interest to make sure you're getting a lot of the sleep. Heather says she doesn't get the full 8, but she feels like 6 is self-love. Yeah, I think 6 is good. I mean, there are some times that I get 8 and I'm like, ooh, feeling, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go for the day. But when I get the 6 or 7, I still feel just as good as I do when I get the 8 hours. But yeah, them 4 or 5, 3 hours, that's not cutting it no more. Like I can't do that anymore. It's not good. It's real bad. But I can't do that anymore. So I'll be trying, thinking that it's cute and it's adorable and stuff like that. But nah. Yeah, I went ahead and I'm gonna put the link for it, and maybe, I don't know if it'll let me put it in the comments. I'll try though. There we go. That's the, I just pinned the directory for, Black girls. So that's the podcast that I listen to. Love it. It's, been a lot of great self-reflecting. I suggest anybody, if you're not a podcast listener, or you're not a podcast person, I swap that out. Instead of, listening to music, that's my thing now. That's what I do now, is I listen to podcasts instead of music during my gym time. So one of the other podcasts that I actually started listening to was Chalene Johnson. Now Chalene Johnson is she's actually like a fitness person. I'm trying to think, I know she did Pio, and I think she did like Turbo. Oh gosh, I cannot remember it. It's like Turbo Jam, something like that. But she does a lot of the workout videos with Beachbody. And so she had like a 4-day podcast about decluttering your life, which, now, you know what? I'm gonna have like a whole bunch of links for you guys. Like, I'm not even playing. So let me get her link set up for you guys, so you guys can listen to her podcast too. She had a 4-day one about decluttering, which, if anybody people that know me, and then they come in the house, oh, you like Chalene? Yeah. Christina says she's like, that's my girl. Anybody that's ever been to my house, like, my house it's now, I keep it clean, but I'm a clutter freak. Like, I have boxes from Ulta, I have boxes from Shoe Dazzle, I got boxes from Just Fab, I got like stuff in my house from when I moved here, like over a year ago, and stuff that I know for a fact that my kids cannot fit anymore. I'm doing all of that right now. So I know there's like certain aspects of my place that when it's super cluttered, I just feel, I don't know how to describe it, but it's definitely not a good feeling. You don't feel good. You don't, like, your mental space is not good when your house is cluttered. And I'm not saying like be a total neat freak. I'm not saying just be OCD about everything. I'm just saying that when your house is a certain amount of disarray, it's going to be your mind and your mental clarity is going to feel the same way. So sometimes, I know when I am super, super stressed out, a lot of times I will clean, and that is like, and I'm cleaning to get my mind off of something else. But at the same time, it's like, okay, once the house is clean and everything's done, like that's like a huge lift that's lifted off my shoulders. Like, it's crazy, like how it feels to go through and make sure your space, your place that you call your safe haven, isn't like maybe like 3 trash bags away from being hoarders. I kind of feel like happy house, happy clean house, happy mental space. That's something else that you could do to help clear it. But one thing that I didn't even think about it, and it wasn't anything that was even on my scope or my mindset at all, was like the fact that I was feeling a certain kind of way, and then for some strange reason I got into this. I don't even know how this podcast even came across my way, but the moment that I sit up here and I listen to it, I'm like, oh man, yeah, that explains why I've been feeling kind of like this way that I've been feeling anyways. I was like, how crazy is that? Like, how crazy that's something that came across my way. But I mean, I had started listening to it. I listened to it the first day, and I I'm a note taker, so I got like notebooks upon notebooks and stuff of, ideas, thoughts, just stuff that I'm just, putting down and everything, and just taking everything into consideration about things I hear, podcasts, master classes that I joined and stuff, and then taking that and utilizing that into either my life or taking that and utilizing that into my business. So I had, cracked open my notebook and everything, listened to everything that she had to say. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I need to go ahead and, I was like, I need to go ahead and, get on this. Like, this is something that I need to get on right now. So I set it up, and I started on the very first day, and I took a lot of the information that she provided into consideration, and I utilized that and I implemented that into my life, which it got good. I mean, like, I got through a point, and it was kind of funny because, the guy that I've been dating, he came to the house and he was like, oh man, he's like, I could tell the difference like that. And, that kind of made me feel good. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm doing something right. And then, hearing him say that was kind of cool. But even after I did it, and I realized that there's a lot of stuff in my house that I really don't need. And I'm still like, right now, I'm still doing the same process. I'm just not stressing myself out and doing it all like in one day. So I'm taking it and I'm spreading it out over the course of some time. And I feel like doing that will help me actually do it instead of trying to force myself to do it all on one day, which not cool. Like, I wouldn't suggest anybody to do that. That's a lot of the reasons why some of the things that I do or don't do, I don't do them for the simple fact that I'm sitting up here trying to force myself and rush myself into doing it. So I wouldn't suggest anyone to do that. If you're going to make that decision to do something like that, just go ahead and, take your time with it. There's no rush. You don't need to rush it at all. Another thing that a lot of people don't take into consideration with, self-love is removing toxic people from your life. The whole point of having a sense of self-love, and the whole point of even having that spiritual, cleansing is, you're the person, it's your life, and you're the person that's going to make a decision on how it's going to go. That's the good thing about being your own person and being an adult. You can make your decisions a lot of the times, for the most part, for certain aspects of your life. And one of the things is, if you want peace in your life, if you want a sense of clarity, if you don't want any clouded crap that you may possibly have going on in your life, the worst thing that you could possibly do is have a whole smorgasbord of toxic ass people in your life. A lot of the times I didn't realize this, and maybe, this can include someone that you're in a relationship with. This can be friends that are unsupportive, that are not really giving you any sort of peace, and, they're not giving you any sort of peace whatsoever. It's like these type of things are people that are not helping with the whole self-love movement. That if you do decide to make that decision to do that, and you're trying to bring some peace into your life and have a little bit of a namaste, those are the type of people that will make you reaching that level of inner peace that much more difficult, because they're going to make you doubt yourself. They're going to bring a bad energy in your life, even if they're not going to, say, oh, you can't do that. There's different levels of that toxic behavior, which, that can be a whole other podcast on doing that kind of thing. But I mean, like, if you're in a relationship with someone and you're giving it your all and you're trying very hard to make it work, and the other person is not doing that, and you're feeling not happy, and you're not happy, and you're not at peace, like, that's not the type of person that you need to continue to have on in your life. Whether y'all have children together, whether you've been married to him 15, 20 years, whether that's just somebody that you met and you really want to try to give this relationship a go, like, at some point you have to come to a realization that your own inner peace and your peace of mind is much more important than making someone else happy, or doing something for them, or basically compromising your own self-worth for what? For a relationship that you're not even happy in. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm meaning this with work. I'm meaning this with friends. I'm meaning this with family. Like, if you want to have inner peace and you want to have that self-love, divorcing those toxic people is the best idea that you could possibly do. So I did go ahead. I just tagged Chalene's podcast in the caption. It's also in the notes. And Christina actually made a very good point. And it's kind of crazy because I'm like literally looking at this book right now. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Now I'm gonna link the book as well. I got the book off of Amazon, so I'm gonna link it so you guys can check it out. But it is a really good book. You're talking about something that just, like, when you walk away from it and you read it and you put it down, it's like, oh, all right, I feel like a badass. Like, I feel pretty good. it's kind of cool. Like, I like the way that she goes about this. There's different people, like some books, like self-help books, I can get into, like, and I can go through it and read it in a whole day. And then some of them I'm just kind of like, all right, this is going to take me a while. I need to, like, pause it and tab it and come back to it, or, read around it. But the way she describes it, everything's so funny and everything's so lighthearted, and it makes you feel great, once you put the book down. So, I mean, yeah, I'm in agreement with Christina on that. I think You Are a Badass is definitely a good read it's definitely a good read for self-love. So I think that's awesome. I just tagged the book in the comments, so you guys can check that out. I think I want to make this a short link. I'm gonna try. Hang on. So, because it's like a super long link. I don't know what it is about Amazon links. Like, their links are like crazy, ridiculously long. So I'm gonna try to get a buffer so I can shorten. I'm gonna go to buffer and try to shorten the link for you guys. But I'm gonna go ahead and post that in the caption for you guys, so you guys can take a read at that. But yeah, if you're like a book reader or anything of that sort, like, this is something else that'll help you out with the self-love, if that's something that you're thinking about doing. But yeah, definitely an awesome read. Oh, good, I just got that short link. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and put that up in the captions for you guys. So yeah, if you do decide to read it, let me know what you think of it. Like, send me a message or something. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. Thanks, Christina. I have a read and gift gift to You Are a Badass. Heather, did you gift me the book? I don't remember. Heather is good about gifting me some, like, really good books. She actually gifted me Codependent No More and another book too. It was a Mandy Hale. She's like the bona fide super chick that's like the single chick. She, like, reading her books, was like, oh yeah, let me set up this blog. Like, that's what inspired me. That's what inspired me to set up the blog and everything. But yeah, please, if you guys do decide to read the badass book, please email me. Let me know what you think of it. Get some insight or whatever. Just tag change the captions for you guys, so you guys have that. Another thing, if you want to try to get some good self-love in, take a break from social media. Social media is like the cesspool for you jumping online. I mean, I guess it depends on the type of person you are. You can jump on social media and probably be on there for like 15 or 20 minutes, and you pretty much feel like a piece of crap after a lot of the times. Because, I mean, I guess it depends on the situation. You see people, buying houses. You see people, doing well in their businesses. You see people losing weight, looking great. They got a boo. They're having kids. Somebody's going to college. Somebody's graduating college. There's all kinds of great celebrations that, may or may not be going on in your life. And then, on the other scope, you might be arguing with perfect strangers about a topic that you feel very passionate about, and they just cannot see what you see. And you guys are just going, and then you realize, like, maybe about 15, 20 minutes, you're going in back and forth with somebody that you don't even know online. And then, what they call draggings. I mean, then you're bringing out all their business. You're going and screenshotting their page. You're looking them up online, and, you're putting all this energy in a perfect stranger that is not in any way, shape, or form providing you any self-peace, any sort of good feelings. They're really just not doing anything but just, allowing you to pass some time, some negative time, some unnecessary time, some unneeded time, nothing that in any shape or form will be contributional to your self-love, like your moment. So I kind of feel like when you have stuff like that going on, it might be in your best interest. Just take a step back from social media for like a week or 30 days. In my case, I think I took a break for, it was like 20 days. I hopped back. I mean, I wasn't really on it. I kept my page up and everything because I had to keep it up because of, I can't have my page like basically deactivated, and I couldn't keep Single in the City. I was like, dang. So, I mean, I left it up, but I just didn't log into it. I have a backup account that nobody's on, and the only people that are on there, it's like women. It's a bunch of women that, like, you know, I trust and I love and I care and stuff like that. So I have them on that page. Well, they're on both the pages, but, you know, there's nothing but women over there. So, yeah, that's why you stepped out of the petty group. You know, that's funny, Heather. I think I left the group yesterday. I didn't even notice I had snoozed the notifications. That's another thing. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. But I had snoozed the notifications for the group so I wouldn't get any notifications. And then they popped up yesterday because the 30-day snooze had ended. And then I was like, oh no, yeah, let me get up out of here. But I mean, like, they have Facebook groups like that where you roast people, you troll people. Like, you know, every once in a blue moon, I might, you know, muster up a little trolling, but it's not as bad as what it was maybe about like even the start of this year. Because even though I started the year and I was like, you know, I'm gonna protect my peace, I'm blocking and deleting, I'm protecting my peace, this is what I'm doing. Even though I said all these things, I still have these little moments where it trickles in and out, and I do it. Like, I think I just trolled somebody on Heather's Facebook friends list Friday, I think. Yeah, I think I trolled the hell out of him. Like, I do it every once in a while now, but I'm not going to sit up here and be like, at least when the new year started with me still screaming, you know, and stuff like that. Oh yeah, you know, protect my peace. I was still trolling people. I was still being petty. I was still doing like unnecessary stuff that was just no benefit to me. And I kind of feel like when you do stuff like that, the only thing you're doing is bringing in like bad energy within yourself, especially if you're supposed to be on this path of self-love and peace and all of those things. Heather says that the group was usually just when she needed a distraction. You know, I think that's probably the reason why I did it, is for a distraction. But it's like I need to find other stuff to start distracting my time. Like, now I got to find things because I'm really trying to focus on building, you know, this shop up. And, you know, I want to set up like dating boot camps for, you know, all of us and everything. Like, that's something that I want to do. And I feel like I'm not doing those things because I'm distracting myself with crap that's like on social media that, you know, like, and one of the things like I realized when I took the little 20-day break, the little 20-day sabbatical, I got so much crap done with my store. Like, I set up the store back in February, and I made the decision to do the little walk away. I think I did that like in mid-March and April. Or was it just March? Yeah, no, it was March and April. I decided to do that, and I was like, I got so much more done than when I originally set up the shop. And then the crazy part about it, when I made that decision to step away from social media and concentrate more on my business, I started getting sales. And I was like, it was like the first month that I set it up, I had no sales in the store. I'm trying to figure out why I can sell. Like, I got good product. What's going on? Like, what's happening? And it was because my attention was on stuff that was like supposed to be a distraction for me, but it wasn't benefiting me. And I'm sitting up here like, okay, well, if it's not making me any money, which a lot of the times the crap that I'm doing on social media is not making me any money, why am I sitting up here going back and forth with somebody for almost 2 hours? And I'm sitting up here like my store over here knowing good dang gone well I need to update some stuff, I need to remove some things, I need to change, I need to build my website, I need to get a domain for it. It's like a whole bunch of stuff I should be doing. I need to start setting up the syllabus for the dating boot camp. Like, what am I doing? I'm sitting up here arguing with somebody for what? Nothing. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Heather says this is just inviting more of it. That is all it is. You're inviting another type of distraction that's just unnecessary. So there's just really no point of even doing that. One thing that you could do, you could snooze folks, which I don't know if anybody knew that. Like, you can actually snooze people on social media. So I have some people that are snoozed, and then I have people that are like on 30-day snoozes. So if I snooze you for like 30 days, and I know that you probably don't say stupid stuff a whole lot, and then the snooze takes off and you still saying stupid stuff, I'm just going to leave you on snooze forever. Because it's just sometimes some of that stuff, you just don't need to see it. You don't need to view it. Delete them off of your Facebook so you're not seeing that on your timeline. Facebook has changed a lot of their settings and their setup now, that it's like they're trying to make it where you have more people that are on your friends list on your timeline. So a lot of the times, like last year, a lot of that crap, I didn't see any of it because I'm seeing other stuff like Facebook business pages, groups. I'm seeing stuff like that. And so Facebook has changed all their stuff now where you're going to see more so of your friends showing up on your timeline. So now I see all I saw was trash. And I realized like I have a bunch of black men on my page, which I was like, dang, this is like all of y'all are really misogynistic. This is very, very, this is real stressful. Y'all stressing me the hell out. Like I don't need to see any of this, but a few things that helps. Usually you can snooze people like hot topics. When hot topics pop up, that's like the best time to clean up your friends list. I know that sounds crazy, and I know that sounds like, wait, what? When the stuff that happened with Bill Cosby, the stuff that happened with Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, and Kanye West all together as a collective helped me delete over 100 people off my Facebook. All of them were black men. Most of them I ain't know. Some of them was family. Like I was like, really? They just, you sit up here taking up for a rapist. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Like this is the kind of stuff that things like that usually helps, clean up your friends list. Political stuff a lot of times helps clean it up. I don't think I deleted anybody off of my Facebook for the political stuff, but they did get deleted for saying some like low key racist ass stuff. So the people that I did delete, they didn't get deleted because they voted for Trump. They got deleted because they low-key said racist stuff. So it was like, I got friends that are on my friends list now. They voted for Trump and they don't say no stupid stuff. They don't say any dumb crap. So, they're still there. So it's like, that's not really my whole makeup with it. But just, keep that in mind with social media. Sometimes having a break from it is not so bad. Nobody's going to judge you at all. And I kind of feel like one of the things with self-love is taking care of yourself. Now, I know I already described, going to the spa, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, buying yourself a nice little outfit because, I'm a girly girl, so that's kind of my thing. That's my self-care thing. Usually it's doing something nice with my hair, beating my face and, buying a cute little outfit and stuff like that. And taking care of your mental health, of course, that's taking care of yourself. Getting toxic people out of your life, that's also taking care of yourself. Making sure that, a lot of people, the first thing they do is they open up their phone and, they get on social media. All of those things are moments of taking care of yourself, but we're talking about like making sure your finances are good, making sure that you're able to take care of your bills, make sure that you're able to take care of your kids, that your kids, they're going to be, if you got kids, they're a reflection of you, so you want to make sure that they're good, because if the kids are good and their mental health's good, everybody's good, mama's gonna be good too, because there's nothing worse than having your kids in disarray and you stressing out because you're trying to fix and handle what they got going on. I just feel like if you take care of like all of those things, you can at some point. Now, I'm not saying that you're always gonna have peace. Of course, that's life. Stuff's gonna throw you a little monkey wrench. That's the only way that it'll work. You got to get a little monkey wrench thrown in there sometimes. But I feel like if you make the proper steps or you do the proper channels, you'll be able to have a better sense of self-love, a better sense of peace within your life, within a whole lot of things, work, everything will run much more smoothly. I wish I could, but I got so many things going on. I know it's hard. Like taking a step away from social media can be hard. I just maybe not so much taking a step away from it, but just disabling the app from your phone. Don't log into it. Like if you're going to log into it, I said, that's why I created a backup. Well, no, that's a lie. Let me be honest. I created a backup account because I was being very problematic back in the day and I kept getting put in Facebook jail. So I set up my backup account for that reason. Now my backup account is like my safe haven. It's my safe haven Facebook. So if I want to take a step away and I don't want to get distracted too much, I'll go over to the other page and then I won't log into my page for like weeks on end, days, months. I've done that before. Like I think the longest, this was probably the longest since I've had my Facebook that I have never talked on it. And I didn't go on it, didn't do anything. Like that's a good idea. I might keep it on the iPad and delete it off the phone. Yeah, I still say disable it. Just disable the app. I had friends, they didn't deactivate. They just, they just disabled the app. Just keep a backup account, when you want to go over to your safe haven. Don't add too many people on it. If it's people that post a bunch of problematic shit where you just like every time you see their post, you be like, oh, girl, and then you just keep scrolling. Don't add that person on the backup page because that person is not giving you the peace. Now, if you want to add family that are not problematic, not toxic, not energy vampires. Like, add those people on there. Have a few friends on there, 4 or 5 or whatever. I think the other page got like 70 or 80 people on it, which that ain't nothing, because my personal one has like, I think it's like a little over 4,000 friends on there. So it's like, you don't want that many people on your backup page, because the whole point of it is to have peace and, protect your peace. But hopefully all of that's helped you guys out tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put the links for everything else. I think I got the blog link. I have the link for the therapy. If you are an African-American woman and you want to find a therapist in your state, in your area, there is a directory full of therapists for Black women. I went ahead and posted that on there. And Chalene Johnson's podcast on Spotify. Now, her podcast is just basically going to help you declutter your life. She's actually got some other great topics on there. She's like a fitness chick, so she does like PIO. She's pretty badass, but like her podcasts are real cool, and she's got some great content on it. So give her a check her out. And I also linked the book You're a Badass on Amazon. There's a link for that if you want to check that out. It's a great book on self-love, loving yourself. I'm telling you, when you put that hoe down and you are done reading it, you're gonna feel like a super person. I'm not kidding you not. It's pretty good. Now that I think about it, I might toss that up in my summer reading lineup, so I can zhish up my spirit just a little bit, because she definitely does that. She's real funny, and how she goes about writing the book and everything. So definitely check those out. I'm gonna leave the podcast up. I'll pin it to the page and leave it up for the rest of this week if you guys want to check it out. Of course, I got a podcast next week. I cannot think of what the topic is. I'm really trying to run through my head what the topic is. I cannot remember, y'all. I'm so sorry. It's been one of them weeks. It's definitely been one of them weeks. But again, I don't think anything's going to happen next week, but definitely check it out. It'll same time every Sunday, 6 p.m. I try to keep these under 30 minutes, which I was on time today, and we just hit the 30-minute mark. I'm super psyched up and hyped up for the week. So I hope you guys have a great week. I will talk with you next Sunday. I love you so much. Good night.